this edition of Editor's Notebook. My name is Mark O'Keefe. I'm the editorial page editor for the Herald-Standard. With us today is Hanna Burgess and her mom, Shannon. And Hanna has been involved in a very unique and very interesting project. It's called Colonial Closet, and basically it's a thrift store for students in the Albert Gallatin School District. And I think that, as everybody knows, Albert Gallatin is one of the poorer school districts in the whole state. So there's a lot of low-income students there. So a store like this obviously is very helpful for probably a number of students that go there. But I just kind of want to say a couple things first of all before we start. Is that fortunately a lot of times in today's world, people talk about kids and high school kids and whatever, and a lot of times they kind of, I think, get tarred with a broad brush that you have somebody who does something stupid and then people think, well, all kids are like that. Well, obviously they're not, and that's kind of what we're here today to show, that there are kids out there that are doing really good things and such as this, and I think you really deserve a lot of credit. Plus your mom there for kind of guiding you and helping you. And then the second thing is that a lot of times over the years people have called me with different ideas about things they want to do, or you hear people talk about stuff, but for whatever reason it never gets done. So here's something that was actually done. So we're not here sitting talking about something that, oh well, that sounds really great. No, this is something that you really did. And so I think that really deserves a lot of credit. So let's talk a little bit just about how you got started on this idea, what kind of made you think about it, or maybe how long was it, did it take you to kind of get it off the ground? So.
Well, growing up, I was raised on a farm, all of my family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and we're just taught that there's always going to be people less fortunate than you, and you need to help them. We're always helping each other. So I really realized how many students at my school were less fortunate, and seeing them every day with clothes that did not fit them, and you can just tell that they're having, miserable day at school, that clothes don't fit them. Driving to school in the morning, I'd see students waiting for the bus with no coat on, and it's snowing, and I'm in my car, it's warm, driving to school, and I look out the car window, and these students don't have a coat on. And so it made me feel very fortunate that I just had my basic needs met, and there's students that don't even have a coat. So I talked to my mom about what I could do, because it was really upsetting me. And she said, why don't we start something by collecting clothes for the students there. But I didn't realize how fast it would escalate and grow. So I went to my principal in September, and I said, could I start collecting clothes? How could I give them to the kids? And so he said he'd have to talk to a few people at first. So a few weeks later, he got back to me and said that was okay, I could start collecting clothes. So we both went and we got boxes from TJ Maxx, set them out, decorated them, and within a few weeks, I had tons of garbage bags of clothes. So the closet grew quickly. My principal gave me a room down in the basement of the school, so it's away from everything, and I set up clothes on the half side of the room. There was just desks in there. So I needed organization for the clothes because it just began to grow. There were so many clothes.
And part of the thing, too, why you want it to be kind of separate, and I think that's very important, is so that kids can kind of go in there and maybe be anonymous.
Yeah, they don't have to feel bad about
nobody
going
wants
down
to be like, everybody looks and,
Right, that was a big obstacle. We said, how can we keep this, so no one will know they can go there. The kids that really need to use the closet can do that without being, feel self-conscious. So, talking through the guidance counselor, through the principal,
the social worker
came up with a way that we could do, that.
So basically, you were thinking about this over the summer then? Is that kind of?
Summer beginning into fall, yes.
And so then when you first talked to the principal, what was the reaction from the principal?
He was happy about the idea. He was just worried about, how are we going to get it started and how long it was going to take. But yeah, he was happy with
And
my
space.
idea.
He said, where are we going to put this? And, you think about all things as you can't have clothes lying around, fire hazards, and there's so many obstacles you have to overcome. So we came up with the idea that we could get clothing racks on wheels so that whatever space we were given, as it grew, and maybe we could get a bigger room, then we could just wheel those clothing racks with us,
That
after.
was an obstacle, was trying to find organization for the clothes, because there was desks with just the piles of clothes stacked on them, and I would stay every day and organize them into sizes and gender, but then it just grew so much. And my dad was going to come and hang a clothing rod because has worked in the district before, and he's a pipe fitter, but it was against the maintenance's policy, so they would have to have a bid and they'd have to vote. It was just, it was crazy. So I learned that, yeah, I could not do that. I asked for just folding tables multiple times from my school's the maintenance, and I never got them. Every day and every week I was going up there asking for tables, and I never got them. And I felt like it was my fault because the clothes were a mess, and I felt like I was being punished for it, but I couldn't do anything about it. So then we decided to apply for the grants, and that's when I came in with the grant money from Chevron and CFFC, Community Foundation for Fayette County.
Wow, so going through a whole grant writing
Right,
process.
that was a huge learning process.
Yeah, how long did that take?
A few months.
Yeah.
I applied for the grant from Chevron in December, and then it was a few months later we heard back, and I mean, they were very nice, very helpful, and then we got the money from them.
How much money did you get?
$1,500 from Chevron, yes.
And then what did you use that money for?
For the racks, clothing dividers, hangers, detergent to wash the clothes, signs for the closet,
Yeah, pretty much
much
things
that.
like that. By the time you buy the industrial racks, because
Yeah.
the plan for the closet is that it'll continue to grow and go on, not just this year while Hannah's a senior in high school, but our hopes is that it's going to grow through the year. So
Other kids in the district
want-
can use it, not just the high school. I'd like
Yeah.
to see the elementaries and the middle schools have access to the closet too.
So basically, it kind of grew from a closet to what, like an actual
classroom.
store?
right,
or
right,
an
yeah,
actual-
like a little
an actual-
franchise.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
classroom. So,
With the help of the teachers and the principals, our hope is that this closet can grow from the high school to possibly the elementary schools, the middle schools. Each school can have their own little Colonial Closet where those students can access it, be very easy. And I think it's possible. I mean, the way it's growing and with the community support that Hannah's had and people calling, it's just been wonderful.
What did you think when Hannah first talked to you about it?
Hannah has always been such a kind soul, and she comes home and she'll, just cry. Usually, kids her age feel, all about themselves.
Right.
She's a varsity cheerleader. She's a 4.2 student. Many awards she's received. But her biggest gift, I think, is her kind heart and looking at other people. And so she would come home multiple times and tell me, Mom, the student, this or this. And you just, what can you do for them? You can't walk up to them and say, hey, you want this coat? Because then they feel, I don't need your coat. I don't need this. So when she came home and she was just really upset and said, Mom, their shoes don't fit. Their shoes are falling apart. That I know this. I'm a nurse. I see what's out there in the community. What can we do to try to get this available to these children? So we just started talking about it, and how can we do this, Hannah? And so then I thought donations. I have a huge family, Medved family in Smithfield, and I just said, go to your family first. Go to your family, people who really care about you, and say, can you help me? And I think her first support came from her family because they all cousins, and of course through social media, that has helped too.
Yeah.
She put it out there. So all of her cousins started calling and saying, Hannah, I have this, all different sizes. So here's Hannah. She drives a little Volkswagen Bug.
Pack my car with garbage bags.
She's driving around town, and it's just her and a Volkswagen Bug full of garbage bags of clothing. That's a usual day for her, and it just so it didn't surprise me when she came to me with the idea. Of course I'm so proud and of her kind heart, but it's been a wonderful thing.
So it's one thing then to get your family involved, and obviously that's a good thing, and you probably were maybe even surprised at the good reaction from from your family and whatever,
Right.
but you kind of probably knew that somewhat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then from the from the community at large, what's been the reaction?
I was surprised actually from the community also how many people wanted to help and donate clothes and their time to help me. I sent out flyers around the school. I hung flyers up everywhere. I sent letters home with the kids and teacher emails just saying that, about the closet, please bring students down here. There's a lot down here. Through Facebook, I sent out, any donations, and people were just contacting me saying, I have clothes, I have prom dresses, I have shoes, if you want it, and my mom and I would meet and then take it to the school. So I was really shocked that actually other people wanted to help. Many teachers would come up to me and say that they had, clothes and when they could give them to me, and the donation boxes that put them out. So
There was a recent donation also from the community, just people that actually had read about it in the Herald-Standard that came to the high school and asked to meet with you.
yeah, Eva Broadwater from Helping Hands in Masontown. Last week, she brought in about 50 to 75 prom dresses.
Wow.
So I was really shocked. I didn't get to meet her. I was upset about that, but I got the dresses, and I was just so happy because they can be used for years to come for
Right.
any of the
Right.
proms, military balls, homecoming. So students will be able to have a dress, and they'll be able to go to their
Where
prom.
did they get them from? I guess just
From
people
the
donating.
community.
Yeah, the community. They had
Ah.
donations, and they heard about it, so they wanted to donate some of the dresses.
Kind of been a platform where it's kind of hooked up the community because everyone says, I have these clothes, I want to donate them,
Right.
I know there's a need, I just don't know what to do with them.
Right.
So the closet's been kind of a place where the community's come together and said, here, you take it, you know where it needs to go, do with it what you may.
Right.
And that's where, all these prom dresses, they'll help so many kids.
Oh, yeah,
Things
that's
like,
wonderful,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because so many kids, it's probably, some kids might not even be able to go to the prom
No,
because
yeah.
they can't
Right.
afford to dress. And
Right.
particularly in these economic times and stuff, it's hard, and it's got to be
Sure.
hard for parents, probably heartbreaking that,
Right.
maybe they can't
Can't
afford
send-
to dress or whatever,
right.
or can't afford a nice dress
Yes.
or
Right.
whatever,
St. Vincent de Paul actually also donated prom dresses and clothes, so
Uh-huh.
they helped a lot too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things, I've been at the newspaper for 30 years now, and we've done a lot of stories on things, going on in the community where people were, a lot of times where people were kind of asking for help or whatever. And the reaction people would always tell me would, just be tremendous. The good people didn't realize that how many good people there are out there, and there are.
Yeah.
And it's always in Fayette County, of course, we're definitely not the richest county by any stretch of
No.
the imagination. And a lot of people that are struggling, but a lot of people with good hearts and life, because I think a lot of people have been through some tough times, and so they realize what it is. And so if they can help somebody out, they're gonna help them out.
Right. And I think the rewards is that's why you do something, is because you know how it's helping others. And I don't get to see firsthand, I'm not in the school, I don't get to see the kids who benefit from the closet, or I benefit from hearing Hannah's stories.
Right.
So tell them about a couple of the stories, how you've seen the kids and how you know that it's helping the kids.
One day I was bringing donations down to the closet and bringing them down like on a wheel. We had pile the bags on, take them down, and I heard students in the closet, so I was just going to leave. I didn't want to, interrupt them and make them feel bad. But the teacher that was in there with them said, no, come in, they want to meet you, they want to see you. And it was the special needs students from the school, and this was before Christmas, they were shopping, getting clothes, and they had their shopping bags, and they were actually taking clothes home for siblings as like Christmas gifts.
Wow.
And so I brought in the clothes, and they were so happy. They said that I had a new delivery of clothes for them, so I gave them more clothes, and I was helping the girls find tops that fit them and shoes, and they were just so happy. And they got jewelry for Christmas, and they were putting it on, and they were smiling, walking all around. They were so happy. So I was really happy that I got to experience that and make their day that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I was driving to school. This was probably February, and one of the students that I would see every morning driving to school, that he did not have a coat on, waiting for the bus in the winter, just when it was snowing, freezing cold, I saw he had a coat on that was from the closet. And I just, I stopped for a minute, and I was like, oh my goodness. And
Yeah.
I brought a tear to my eye because I was so
Yeah.
happy that he had a coat.
Right. Well, that's a really neat thing because you're able to see it.
Yeah.
You're able to see the effect that you're having on people, and these are people that, kids that their lives are better as a result of something that you've done. So we're going to take a break right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It is so easy to give back.
I don't have a lot of money to help people, but I do have something. I have time.
Get up and do something.
Just imagine how strong a society we could be.
Every one of us has a role to play in making our communities and our country stronger. Discover yours. Help us continue to make a difference in the life of our nation. Go to serve.gov and find the opportunity that works for you. And this message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
Okay, welcome back to this edition of Editor's Notebook. My name is Mark O'Keefe. I'm the editorial page editor for the Herald-Standard. With us today is Hanna Burgess and her mom, Shannon. And we're here today to talk about the Colonial Closet, which is basically a thrift shop that Hanna started with help from her mom and a lot of other people that basically offers clothing for low-income students or anybody that's in need. And as we said in the first part, obviously, in Albert Gallatin, a lot of low-income students there, a lot of kids that can benefit from this thing. And you mentioned about actually seeing kids wearing clothes from the closet and how that does make you feel good. And we were talking about all the problems that you had trying to set everything up for it, and probably a lot more work than what you ever thought. But let's talk a little bit about the closet itself and what kind of clothes and everything that you do have available.
The closet has pretty much everything. I have clothes for boys, girls, every size from extra small to 3XL. I have children's clothes, so if they have a younger brother or sister who needs clothes at home, they can take those clothes home to their siblings too. I also have infant clothes and blankets, hats, accessories for infants, because there are a lot of pregnant teenagers at my school that already have children, or maybe they have a very young sibling that needs clothes. So I know that's helped a lot also. We've donated, I have twin sisters that are 15 months old, so we sort of donated all of their stuff to the closet, and I know a lot of the girls had good use of it, and they were able to take bouncy seats and carriers and outfits and everything for their children, so I know that helped them greatly. There's shoes, winter boots, sandals, dress shoes for prom, book bags, purses, jewelry, accessories, belts, gloves and scarves and hats for winter time. There's even some swimsuits in there for summer, so if a student wants a swimsuit for the summer, flip-flops, just a bunch of different things like that.
And how does it work? Is it free, or is there any charge at all?
No charge.
No
They can
charge.
take as much as they need whenever they want to go down, whenever they can go down. They can ask a teacher to go down with them, or they can ask the high school's guidance counselor, Miss Mianko. She's been a great help. They go to her and say that they want to go down to the closet. They also go to our school's guidance counselor, Miss Kristen Mack, and she'll take them down there. And they sort of just help them pick out things that they need. And then there's shopping bags down there, so they can put them in the bags and take them with them from various stores, so that other students don't see them just carrying clothes through the hallway. So they can feel good about it, taking the clothes.
It's very discreet, so
Yeah.
they can go in, and we have shopping bags from anywhere from Walmart to Victoria's Secret. So,
They're everything.
it's not
So,
like one
yeah.
colored bag
Like
is,
it's-
you've got something from the closet.
Yeah.
It's
And the
just
thing is,
everything.
there's no questions asked. If a student goes to the guidance counselor or teacher, they don't have to say, here's my income, my parents' income.
Right.
They can
You
just
go
go
to
down.
one of the teachers, to a guidance counselor, and say, can we go to the closet? You can go. There's, and the students have been really great about that. They are not abusing abusing the
Yeah.
closet by going and taking things they don't need.
They need it.
They
The
really
students
take
have
things
really
they
needed
need.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the reaction been from your fellow students? Are they pretty? I bet they think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my close friends are really happy for
Yeah.
me. The ones who care,
Yeah.
they're happy for me, and my friends help me a lot. Would go down there, sort clothes and everything, so they really help me. some students just don't care, but
Yeah.
to the one, I think there are a lot that do
Yeah.
care because they know that it's helping them and their friends and family.
Right.
And until you were featured in the Herald-Standard, it was pretty anonymous. Kids knew the closet was there.
No one knew
really
who
knew
it
it was
was.
Hannah who was doing it. And of course now she's graduating, and so she'll move on from the closet. But of course she's still going to stay in contact and have her part of it.
Yes.
You're going to have a cousin, I believe, who's going to
Yes.
take it over, right?
My cousin Patsy Martin, she's an upcoming freshman at the high school. So she already knows sort of what to do. She's been at the high school, and I showed her what I do every day and check the donation boxes, take them down to the closet, sort them out, and hang them up by size, what racks to put them on, so she knows what to do. So she'll be taking over next year.
So you got the routine down. So
Yes.
she just has to follow. You'll be going to school at West Virginia, right?
Yes, WVU.
So that'll be kind of close by. So
Yes,
you'll be
I'll be
able
close
to
to home, yes.
kind of be able to keep tabs on it. So that will be something. And you were saying before about how you hope that maybe would the hope be that each school would have some type of closet?
Yes, I would like to see the elementary schools and the middle schools be able to have a closet in their schools also, so that the younger kids can go up to and get clothes.
The closet's there at the high school, so the older students can take to their siblings.
Right.
But we know there's other kids out there in the elementary, junior highs that
Sure.
they need clothes. So how do we
Yeah.
get? That's our next obstacle. How do we get those clothes to those students who don't have a contact with the high school? So we're working on some things where parents can actually bring their kids to the high school so they can also frequent the closet. But our greatest hope is that we can actually get a closet in each school. If it's just a small closet starting
Right.
out, even just a coat closet,
Yeah.
where we could just hang basic essential things that kids would need, then that would be a start. And so that's our hope. And another thing with what's included at the closet, with the grant that Hannah received from the CFFC, that money was kind of earmarked for undergarments, because there are things that you really you don't
Can't
want to donate and
yes.
reuse. And so undergarments were a big thing. Socks, kids, you don't realize how many kids don't have
They
socks.
don't have socks, yeah.
So with the money that she received, the $500 from CFFC, that money was spent for specifically socks, underwear, things like that kids absolutely need. And that's been a great
Yes.
response.
I know you wanted to thank some people.
Yes, I wanted to thank the Community Foundation of Fayette County because their money helped greatly with the undergarments, as you just said. Chevron, because their money helped me organize the closet. I wouldn't have been able to have
Right, Michael Zimmerman with Chevron, she's been wonderful with
Yes.
helping us with the grant writing process. And
the
and
organization of the closet. That's what helped me so much, was the money to be able to actually
Buy
set
the
it up.
clothing racks
Yes,
and-
and then St. Vincent de Paul and the Helping Hands of Masontown with Eva Broadwater, because those dresses and clothes, that's helped
Prom
a lot.
dresses.
Prom dresses. There's
That
students
sort
that
of
were
thing,
able to go
yeah.
to prom because
Yeah.
we had the prom dress donations from them. I want to thank my secretaries at my high school, Stacy Beal and Tina Miller, because they're always there when I need help and asking questions, and people are constantly calling them saying that they have donations, so they're always helping me. And I really want to thank my guidance counselor, Miss Krista Mack, because this is her first year in Albert Gallatin School District, and she's a guidance counselor, and she, having as many students as she does throughout the day, she does above and beyond for everyone. And she has just helped me so much this year. She's always telling me, what I can do and what she can do to help me. And so she's really made a great impact on the closet. But I want to thank my family also, and then my mom the most, because she's kept me going and, helped me with everything all the time. So thank you, Mom.
You're welcome, honey.
Well, it is. Parents have a very difficult job these days.
Never ending.
And yeah, it really isn't. And it just seems, like parents take a lot of criticism, which I think a lot of times is very unfair. But so, Mom, you certainly deserve
Well, thank you.
a lot of
I
credit.
get to live through her also, so I get to help and help children and do it through her.
And we do want to give the phone number, 564-2024. It's the number for the high school. And you were saying somebody that they could talk to?
Yes, when they call, they can ask for either Stacy Beal or Tina Miller, and then they will tell them where to bring the donations to or what can be made they can help.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of funny because I think in a way, like a lot of people have clothes that,
Yeah.
clothes that don't fit. You put those clothes up in the winter and something happens up in those attics where they shrink. You
Yeah.
bring them back down and they shrink. They just don't fit anymore. So you're looking at, oh, well, I guess I can't wear this,
Yeah.
But everybody has them, and a lot of people don't know what
Right.
to do with them and stuff, and particularly where I think, too, where you know that you're kind of helping kids.
Sure, and the
'cause-
baby items have been such a huge, huge help because there are so many, teen pregnancy and young siblings, infants. The baby donations have been wonderful because we had baby bathtubs, just everything, and
They were gone
Hannah
within a
puts them
week.
out, and
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah.
They're
Wow.
gone, and
Wow.
they're being used.
Right, right, definitely. And, who doesn't want to help
Right,
kids?
and we all have those things laying around
Right.
the house. What am I going to
Right.
do? We absolutely appreciate them there at the closet.
Okay, well, that's going to wrap up our show for today. I want to thank Hanna Burgess and her mom Shannon for coming on our show.
Thank you for having
I want
us.
to once again give you some kudos for coming up with this wonderful idea, and I just really can't say enough about because I know that there's a lot more work than what you ever probably imagined that went into it,
Yes.
but for sticking with it, and a senior in high school who has all kind of other things that
Right.
probably on your agenda, to take the time to do something like this
Thank
is really
you.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
So-
you, Mr. Keith.
So once again, I want to thank you both for being on our show, and I want to thank you for watching out there. My name is Mark O'Keefe. I'm the editorial page editor for the Herald-Standard, and we'll see you later.